What's up, guys? Welcome to the formerly known as Wi-Fi Gospel, now Alexander Medeiros YouTube channel. Usually what you'd be seeing tonight is a debate where I debate atheists and, in the near future, liberals, libtards, leftists, whatever you like to call them. Those streams will be coming soon. I'm just doing Christian ethics versus secular ethic debate streams recently because I have a debate coming up Wednesday. I'll post the live stream link soon. And that debate is on Christian ethics versus secular ethics against some TikTok tard. But yeah, after that, I'll do some political debates. Anyway, tonight is just going to be kind of a chill stream. We're going to go over a couple of things like the title says, the conservative civil war, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentas, Pierce Morgan, all those types of figures. I know everybody's been covering it, but I got a call from my friend Jeremiah. He wants to start doing some live streams with me. I said, absolutely. And these are the types of things that we both like to talk about. So without further ado, this is Jeremiah Campana. You can find him at Jeremiah Campana on X, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere else.
Rumble. You will find me. So the thing about Rumble, though, is you won't find me under Jeremiah Campana because for whatever reason, Rumble won't let you change your handle. So I am still Jesus and Liberty over at Rumble, or Anatomy of the Church and State is my channel there. You can find either of those. But maybe one day Rumble will let us change our handles and I can be Jeremiah Campana.
I didn't know that.
It's pretty lame.
They won't let you change it, huh?
No. As great as Rumble is for free speech, user friendliness, not their forte.
Gotcha. I'm just checking both of our channels, making sure we're both up here.
I don't go live, so this is I did a brief live show. Was it earlier this year or last year? I tried to do like a morning prayer show. But that didn't do so well, and it required me to get up extra early to prepare for it. So I stopped doing it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough, dude. Joel does a daily stream. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, daily streams. If you got the time and the hours and it's worth it, like the ROI is there, the daily stream I think is the way to go because that's what all the big names do, right? Dan Bongino did the daily, Candace Owens does the daily, everybody does the daily.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what normally do you talk about in your channel, Jeremiah?
Yeah, man. So I try to give a biblical Christian perspective on everything political going on in our country. I do dabble in some cultural stuff as well, but I'm usually covering something going on in politics and trying to put a biblical view on it. And not only that, because there are other people that do that, but I used to do a lot of interviews and I've gained a lot of knowledge about things that we can do to change what's going on around us. So 99% of my episodes, at the end of the episode, you're going to get something that you can do to participate in making America Christian again.
Now, one thing I always like to bring up, especially when we talk about these things, Charlie Kirk is at the center of the conservative civil war. Right, obviously his assassination and everything that's followed from that. One interesting thing is, I believe it was his pastor you interviewed.
Yeah, Rob McCoy.
And when was this?
Oh, geez. I'm on my channel right now. Let me search it because it was a while ago.
I think it was like 6 years ago, if I remember correctly.
McCoy. Let's see here. I interviewed him last year.
Political, corporate, and religious dogma is what is killing life on this planet, says Anarchy Television. Well, that's interesting. Is that dogma?
Go into more details. What do you mean?
Yeah, Anarchy. What are you talking about? Sharon, hello. How are you?
See, I don't live stream ever, so I didn't even know you had to click on the comments to see the comments. I'm over here like, where are you seeing this? What are you talking about?
So this will be both of us, but if you type in here, it'll only pop up on my channel, I think. So if you want to talk, just pull up your stream on your phone or something.
Okay.
For your people there.
Private chat, yeah. I see that. Okay.
Cool.
Political corporate
All right.
religious dumb.
But yeah, so you interviewed Pastor Rob McCoy last
Did.
year. I said 6 years ago. I don't know what I was
It's-
smoking. Um, so 6 years ago, or sorry, 1 year ago, you interviewed Pastor Rob McCoy. And
I
how did
did.
that interview go? What was it like?
Oh, it's fantastic, man. He now I know he's been into a little bit of a controversy lately, which I just found out. I had no idea. But apparently he interviewed some guy who went to prison for um sexual assault on a minor. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't done enough investigation into this to, like, am I gonna pull that interview down? Like, do I even want to be associated with Pastor Rob McCoy? Because the interview went great, man. He ran for city council, he ran for mayor. Like, he's been in politics. He knows how to speak truth into politics, and just really wise. Like, his story, his testimony about his foray into the political realm was very helpful and knowledgeable. And for anyone who is thinking about doing anything like that, listening to his story will definitely help round out your view about that as a Christian.
Awesome. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out what Charlie Kirk's pastor was like, at least you can get an hour interview over on Jeremiah Campana's YouTube channel. Those look like fake books. No, they're real. All right. And I would get up and grab one, but I just don't have like I'm lazy. So but I have read all of them twice and I have memorized a lot of them. Yeah, so someone's trying to fake you out with a fake $5 super chat. He just says $5. Not gonna work, bud. And then we have I'll give you 30.5 cents to say the N-word. Listen, bro. On
30 and a
YouTube,
half
it's gonna
cents.
cost you a lot more. We were on Rumble, you'd get it for free. All right.
Not on YouTube, buddy. We know the terms of service here. Plus, we wouldn't say that anyway.
Well, Jeremiah won't. He's much better than I am as a person. All right. Speaking of the N-word, Nick Fuentes has been doing a ton of interviews recently. Obviously, a very popular interview was on the Piers Morgan show. He did one with Tucker Carlson, obviously, very popular recently. How did you feel? Did you watch the entire interview for Piers Morgan and Nick Fuentes?
No, I didn't. No. I didn't. I only saw the clip of Piers Morgan talking about giving him crap for being a virgin. But this whole thing, dude, is just, it's got me angry, right? Because when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, right, as terrible of a situation that was, I oddly enough, in the aftermath, there was like so much revival and hope going on, and it was like, yes, we are about to crush the left. We're taking America back. Nothing's going to stop it. And then we started eating ourselves and punching each other. And I just can't believe what I'm witnessing right now. Like, I don't give a crap about Nick Fuentes. I don't care who interviews him. Why are we attacking each other? Why you don't see the left do this ever, ever. Even if someone on the left disagrees with someone else on the left, they never talk about it. It's conversations that happen in private. They don't duke it out in public. Conservatives, like, and it's okay to have different ideas, but you know, it's wild to me that we're splitting, and we're not gonna. This is why we're gonna lose the midterms, and this is why we're gonna give the country back to the Democrats. It's wild to me.
Yeah, and it sucks because there is kind of been this idea that the right hasn't been able to wield its power as effectively as it could have over the first. Obviously, we're only in year one, but I mean, we only have a year left before the midterms. And so to just go into the midterms with this conservative civil war, as people have been calling it, doesn't feel good. Absolutely not. We need to get our stuff in order here.
No, Candace Owens has a lot to do with that. Tucker Carlson, I think, is being unfairly attacked. Although what I'm seeing from Tucker is, and Milo. Did you see Milo Yiannopoulos on Tim Pool calling Charlie Kirk gay and that he actually might not be
Yeah.
dead and like,
Yeah, I
just
can't
all,
stand Milo, to be
and
honest.
Benny Johnson, like saying Benny Johnson like was in hotel rooms with boys and his wife was
Yeah.
crying and just like all this stuff. And I'm like, first of all, Milo claims to be a Christian. Tucker Carlson claims to be a Christian. And my
There's
problem with that, yeah, dude, that
yeah.
problem, my problem with that side is like, I don't see any of y'all leading with Christ in anything that you do. You're leading with all this other stuff. And then the Christians on the other side, like the neocons, you might want to call them, like Eric Metaxas, Seth Dillon, Babylon B. Ben Shapiro's not a Christian, but he would be in that group. Their problem is they'll be like, because Israel has a lot to do with this as well, right? We talk about Nick Fuentes, but Israel is a dividing line for a lot of these people too. And it's like, okay, well, you can criticize the Israeli government. There's nothing wrong with that. And then when someone does, it's like, how dare you criticize the Israeli government? Like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm either allowed to or I'm not
Yeah.
allowed to. I think you're allowed to. Like, and I'm a premillennial. Like, like I believe that they deserve that land. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. You can criticize the Israeli government. They're fallible men, just like any fallible human being. Like, they're not perfect. That would be like, Alex, that would be like saying, right before the exile to Babylon, as they're sacrificing children. The reason they got sent to Babylon in the first place. If I thought that was wrong, like I shouldn't say anything. Like, don't say anything
Yeah.
about them sacrificing children. Are you
Right.
crazy? So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing one side, Candace Owens, she claims to be Christian, but I don't see anything Christ or biblical in what she's doing. And then at the other side, it's like, well, you're being hypocritical. You're saying people can criticize Israel, but then they can't criticize Israel. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. And it's interesting to see. I mean, even in our comment section now, you never quite know where people land on these issues, even if they're on the left or the right. When it comes to Israel, when it comes to Nick Fuente, like there's very interesting takes even from people on the left, people who you wouldn't think share your worldview. So it's very polarizing. That's for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. So,
Real
and then
quick,
add Nick Fuentes into the mix, right? And it
yeah,
becomes even more polarizing. Who also claims to be a Christian, by the way.
yeah. Have you seen Faith Because of Reasons video about you? I haven't. I've been meaning to watch it. That's David Paulman. Me and him had a discussion. I believe it's still on my channel. You can see it there. But I haven't seen the full thing. He's a smart guy. I want to hear what he says. I have so much to do that I haven't really been able to watch it. Debate coming soon Monday, right? Yeah, me and Joel will be live Monday, Callan. Looking forward to it.
Love it. This guy says, to be
All right.
clear, Israel's not an ally of the American people. I disagree. I don't think we would know anything about what's going on in the Middle East because Muslims don't share information. If it wasn't for Israel, we wouldn't know anything about what's going on over there. So there is some information sharing going on, at least between us. Maybe not, there's some other foul things going on. Maybe, possibly, yeah, I agree with you there. But the reason we have any intelligence over there is because of Israel.
All right, so now I keep trying to get Jeremiah to debate on these debate streams, and he wants to, but he hasn't done it before. He's
I'm
not
not a
ready yet. I
debater,
understand
man. I'm
that.
not a
I
debater.
get it, but that would be a great dude. That topic would be amazing to debate. Anyway, um, so you sent me a few clips here.
I did.
It looks like it's a
But
little
we
bit
missed Nick
different.
Fuentes. You knew you wanted to talk about Piers Morgan, Nick Fuentes. What
Yeah. All right.
what
So
specifically
Pierce
did you
Morgan and
see
Nick
in that
Fuentes.
interview? Yeah, what specifically did you see in that
Um,
interview?
I watched about 80% of it because I think it was 2 hours long.
Oh,
I watched like
jeez.
an hour and a half of it at work, something
Who's
like
got time for that?
that. And so Nick Fuentes, basically, it kind of reminded me of when I did a lot of debates. I did like 8 debates in 2 weeks one time. And when you do that much preparation, like you kind of get burnt out really quickly. And so some debates you may not be as ready for as if you just had one debate to focus on in that 2-week period, right? And it kind of seemed like that's what happened to Nick because Nick had
Mhm.
all this press, he had all these interviews, and they were back to back to back. And you kind of like, how do you prepare for all of these things? So, like, um, there was some stats thrown out, like, so Nick says that he doesn't want to live in a black neighborhood, right? And then he also says, well, even black people agree with me. Black people don't want to live in black neighborhoods. That's why when they get money, they move out of black neighborhoods.
Give me 1 second.
You're good. And so when he said this, Pierce brought up that, well, how many school shooters are white? And Nick was like, well, I don't know what that has to do with anything. He's like, no, answer the question. How many school shooters are white? And they said, well, most of them are white, right? Like, there's probably very few black school shooters. But he brought up a good point. He said that, I'm talking about what are the proportion of whites that are school shooters, like percentage wise. It's like, 0.0001%. But then he said, what's the proportion of people who are black who commit violent crimes? And the thing is, he said it was 5 out of 100, which I've never seen a stat that high before. And then Pierce said 1 out of 100, and 1 out of 100 I don't think is quite right either. But the actual number is, because I looked it up during the discussion because I was interested, and it's about, so black men are about 7 times more likely to commit a violent crime than white men, proportional to their population. And so that's the stat that everybody talks about. And so is it racist to, when you see a group of black men, to kind of walk across the street? That was like the topic there. And Nick says yes. And Pierce Morgan says, no, that's racist. So
I would be curious to watch Piers Morgan in that situation.
Yeah. And I understand where Nick is coming from, and I definitely sorry, some weird comments.
Yeah,
Cream pie fart. I don't. Am I allowed to say these words?
Symbol. I think the guy with the Nazi symbol could probably be booted.
Well, he's hanging out. He's chilling. As long as YouTube lets the image up, hey, why not? Anyway, yeah, Pierce. There was just some weird, like, he kept going for the gotchas, and
right.
Like he basically said, oh, if you don't want to live in a black neighborhood, you must be racist. And it's like, okay, so then black people who don't want to live in black neighborhoods must be racist, right? Well, that doesn't really check out. Then you have him saying, like you said earlier, he went after him about his virginity, right? And it kind of reminds me of like when you're in high school, and it's like, you don't get no girls, dude. You get no woman. It's such like a high school taunt.
It really is.
But like, and Nick kind of clapped back, although Pierce overtalked him, and Nick was like, yeah, what about like you boomers are all about free love, man, and and like the hippies and the 80s and the 70s. And that's what happened. That was the sexual revolution, right?
Yep.
And so it's funny because something that came out recently is, what's her name? So before I say this, for those who don't know, Nick was upset at one point because he went, I'm pretty sure it was one of the first things that Pierce Morgan brought up was his father. So he played clips about, did you ever see the Cy 10 Bruggencate debate with Matt Dillahunty?
Yes.
You know how, so Cy's strategy was to play clips about Matt and then kind of catch him in his own lies.
Yeah.
Like, so to get him to commit to what he said, like, hey, here's video evidence of what you said. So that was like Pierce Morgan's strategy going into this. He was playing clips, and he was like, do you want to back this up? Or do you guys actually want to, do you guys want to back this up, or are you going to go away from it? That's what he was trying to do the whole time. You guys are victims of propaganda. Callan, me and Jeremiah probably like disagree to a strong proportion on some of these issues. So which one are you even talking about? Do your own research. That's literally what we do. Anyway.
That's literally what we do.
So Pierce Morgan goes after his father. He plays a clip where Nick says, basically, we have a joke in our family. Whenever our dad asked us where we wanted to go out to eat, we would say Red Lobster or Applebee's, and he would call it Black Fare. This is where black people go to eat, so we don't want to eat there. And then he said, there's a joke about Olive Garden that involves the N word. And he says, we're, but our father wouldn't say it around us. So he plays this clip. Pierce Morgan plays the clip, and then he says, do you stick by this? Is your father a racist? And he names his father. I forget his name, but something Fuentas, obviously. And he says, look, you didn't post a stat. Yeah, you literally didn't post a stat. Anyway, Callan. So Pierce Morgan
names his father.
Nick gets very upset. He's like, why are you talking about my dad? This has nothing to do with him. Like, my dad's just a normal guy. You want to like put him out here and so people can go after him. And then after the debate, the reason I'm bringing this up is because after the debate, Nick was very upset, and he said, or the interview, Nick said, all right, you want to go after my family. Your family is greenlit, Pierce. And basically he's saying to his audience, like, have at it, dig up what you can in a nonchalant way without like telling them to do it. He said, your family is greenlit. And then all of a sudden,
from what I understand, Nick is notorious for doing that to people. From what I understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has organized stuff, and he has admitted to it. Yeah. Just post the stat again, because I don't see it at all in the comment section. I'm not scrolling up to find it. There's a bunch of other people commenting here. And I scrolled up, I didn't see it. Anyway. Yeah, so Keg Dog says, apparently Pierce has a wife with a pretty promiscuous Insta. He's cucked out. So there are posts on, I forget her name, but whatever. And one of them is a guy in like basically a thong for men.
Mm-hmm.
And he's outside washing her car, right? He's got a hose in his hand. And it says, you're making money off gossiping like a little drama queen. Pathetic beta male energy. Then come fight me about it. Anyway. I can make money fighting.
Let's ignore the comments. Finish your story. We're on a time limit here. These guys are active fools here in the chat.
I'm used to interacting with the comments too much. Anyway. So Nick Fuentas green lights his family. They dig this stuff up. Apparently, she's like all over the place doing this stuff. So the internet's up in arms about all that stuff. But yeah, that was my Nick Fuentas rant in Pierce Morgan.
Well, that sucks for Piers, I'll tell you that. But Nick Fuentas, look, what people got to understand about Nick is he is a terrible person, and he might say a few things that you agree with. Sure. That's fine, but that doesn't negate all the terrible things that he says. He is an anti-Semite. He is a racist, but he makes a good point every now and then. Good for him. I don't think we should avoid him, though. I think if you want to have Nick Fuentas on your show, whatever, interview the guy. Don't interview him with soft gloves. I think what Piers Morgan is he's mainstream, right? He's corporate press. He's in corporate press. We all know is garbage. So, but when he went on Tucker Carlson, like Nick Fuentas literally like insulted Tucker's family and like went after Tucker like in terrible ways before. And then Tucker invites him on his show and he treats him with kid gloves, which I didn't understand. So it's like, okay, yeah, we can interview Nick Fuentas. That's fine. But don't like, you don't have to be a powder puff around him. You have to do what Piers Morgan did. Piers Morgan is probably the worst person that could have went after him that hard. Why didn't Dave Smith go after him? Why didn't Tucker go after him? All these people on the show. Steven Crowder was actually pretty cordial with him, although Steven Crowder probably disagreed with him the most. I'll say, if anyone of all the people who've interviewed him besides Piers to push back on him, Steven Crowder, I think, probably did the best at that. But yeah, it's like that's my take on Nick Fuentas. Interview the guy, but don't treat him with kid gloves and pretend like because he says a few good things that, oh, he's just a misunderstood little kid. Like, no, he's a grifter troll, and he deserves to be treated as such. So, if he insulted my family, Alex, and I had him on my show, I probably might bring that up. I don't know, like maybe push back on his idea that he loves Stalin. like, I don't know.
Which
I don't think.
Crowder did do that, right? He brought up the Stalin thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because and
So
he did it because people were angry at Tucker for not bringing up that stuff, right?
anything. Right?
Um
It was it was just like real chummy with him. In fact, Tucker pushed back on, Tucker's interviewed controversial figures before. I mean, he interviewed Putin, right? So like he's probably as controversial as they get. And I feel like even though he was still a little timid there, he pushed back on Putin like a little harder than he did on Nick Fuentes. And I'm like, I don't know. So that's my take on that, on Nick and that divide. So I think the other side that's attacking, Tucker and these people for interviewing Nick, I think it's like, relax. Like, you can criticize where they deserve to be criticized, but to say, first of all, Nick Fuentes was big before he even came on your shows, on any of these shows, right? He didn't really need these people to get views. As banned as he is, he has plenty of followers. So you can't really say he's being platformed, so to speak, because he was already famous. So, if you're going to criticize him in the right ways. Don't say like, we can't bring Nick Fuentes on for interviews. That just doesn't make any sense.
yeah, absolutely. Now I did want to push back a little bit.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this? What does it mean to be racist and an anti-Semite? Because I'm sure you would agree that
I think he legit doesn't like black people or Jews. I don't think it has anything to do with statistics or any of that stuff. I think he legit does not like black people or Jews.
But why do you think that?
Because of some of the things he said. In fact, what was it? He said something about in 2022, I think it was, where he says we're gonna flood the zone with. He thought a bunch of African Americans were going to vote for Trump and Republicans. He says we're going to flood the zone with racial slur votes. Insert the racial slur. He doesn't. His demeanor and his vocabulary tell me that he actually just doesn't like these people. Like he probably doesn't have a black or Jewish friend.
So you would then have to say that because he did say on the Pierce Morgan show that he does have black and Jewish friends. Some of his best friends, he said, are black and Jewish. Obviously, that's
yeah.
But do you think he's lying about that stuff in order to come off
I
as
would
not
not
a certain
it would
way?
not surprise me. It would not surprise me. If Stalin is your man, there's something wrong with you in the head.
Yeah. Last time I'm gonna bring this up. Yeah, keep ducking. See you Monday. You're gonna get absolutely trashed by Joel on Monday, just so you know. Anyway,
most people get trashed by Joel. I don't know why these atheists are gluttons for punishment. Like,
yeah. And this isn't even a debate stream, but your stat literally hasn't showed up at all. I've checked the chat multiple times, which you don't understand because you're probably not smart enough to understand, is that if you use certain words, YouTube doesn't allow your comment to go through. So I don't know.
Oh, here we
figure
go.
that out.
And I also found this quote just to kind of hone it in.
Yeah,
I mean, when you say things like, who cares if black people had to drink out of a different water fountain? It's the same water. It's better for them and us. It's better in general to be separate and segregate. I don't know. I don't know, man. Something tells me you just don't. I mean,
I have heard arguments for segregation that are compelling in the sense of, what was it, Black Wall Street?
Sure. And that was destroyed by in the most heinous way. But here's the thing. What most people don't know: the United States was naturally desegregating before Woodrow Wilson took the office of president and resegregated America, which is just crazy to me. Like, blacks and whites were naturally starting to come together, and the president of the United States made sure he put a stop to that. That's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, this live stream is kind of an on the fly thing. We just threw it together because we've been talking about it forever. You got to start somewhere. But maybe in the future we'll do an actual.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do an actually prepared live stream on these topics. We'll go much more in depth, especially that one. Segregation is a fascinating topic. I'd love to dive into it more with you. You seem like you studied it a bit.
I think, hey man, we're good off the cuff, man. Anyone, who's got a problem with us going off the cuff, find a live stream where they wrote a script then. All right.
All right. Now let's get how much more time you got?
I got 24 minutes.
Sounds good to me. Is there anything else you want to talk about you want to talk about Candace Owens before we get to these clips that you sent?
Let's briefly touch on Candace Owens, just because we've been kind of beating this topic for the last 20 minutes or so. All I'll say about Candace Owens is, and I think maybe we both kind of agree on this. Like, I think you're on the fence on if she is doing this on purpose or not. I think she absolutely is doing this on purpose for clicks and likes. And Tim Pool said today, or at least I saw today, I don't know if he said it today, but I saw today that people are telling him in the inner circles that she has told people that she actually hates Charlie Kirk. So if that's true, then this all makes a lot more sense, because you can't say if Erica Kirk tells me to stop like 4 different times, and then when Erica tells you to stop, you're like, no, I'm not going to stop. Like, what are you doing? And she's always the conspiracy hooks that she gets people with, like, we'll just wait till next week when we're gonna dive into this and talk about this, and then she never actually presents any real evidence. She's just baiting people in for likes and clicks because she wants to be the #1 show, and I think she might be the #1 conservative show. Conservative.
Yeah, I mean, Erica Kirk did a interview recently. I forget exactly what platform it was on.
I think it was Fox News.
Yeah, which I have some inside baseball I'll give you guys in a minute here. But she does this interview and she tells Candace to stop. Not necessarily by name, but we all know who she's talking about, right?
Right.
And Candace has said in the past, if they want me to stop, Erica can get me to stop. That's the only person. Well,
4 different times.
Erica's telling you to stop. But here's the inside baseball. All of this stuff is a huge game, and everybody's playing. Candace Owens, TPUSA, they're all astroturfing their views. Nobody gets that big without spending tons of money. It just doesn't happen. Maybe some people, maybe, but
sure.
I know of campaigns. So there's these things called clipping campaigns where people pay you to make dedicated pages on Instagram and TikTok, and they pay you like 50 cents per 1,000 views you get. And I know for a fact TPUSA, just in one campaign I saw, is spending $100,000 per month on just one campaign that I saw. And the most content they're pushing out right now is those 2 Erica Kirk interviews. So that's why you're going to see them all over your feed. It's not because these things are naturally blowing up.
Sure.
So everything there's a lot of games being played behind the scenes. So it is kind of hard to believe everything you see. But I do think it's very ironic that, like, it couldn't have been more ironic in a really bad timing that Charlie Kirk's last book is about the Jewish Sabbath. That does not look good for the conspiracy theories. I'm just saying.
No, it doesn't. And Charlie really was the glue, man. I hate to see it fall. Like, I wanted the revival to push it forward and keep this thing going. But literally, like, Charlie Kirk probably won the election for Trump in a big, at least for the young vote. And now that he's gone, like, what now? How do we win now? And guess what? You know why Charlie Kirk was so successful? Because he always talked about Christ. Christ was always at the forefront of everything that he did. Politics came second, but because and I can't say this for sure, but I want to say because of him putting Christ first, the reason he was so successful at politics in the first place. And I mean, he had the president's ear, dude. He could literally text Donald Trump, and he changed. Man, what was going on? I can't remember what Trump made a blunder, and Charlie Kirk like fixed it, and then Donald Trump changed his mind like a week later on the subject, and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was one of the last things Charlie Kirk did was like, hey, actually, Trump, this isn't a good idea, and then Trump suddenly changed his mind. because Trump
Yeah.
Trump will never agree that he had someone influence him, of course.
He was the most influential figure on the right, and especially MAGA, because a lot of people after Trump's first term weren't as hard MAGA, right? And after after he lost the second term, or the election right after after he lost the reelection, they weren't as hard MAGA. But Charlie was harder than anybody in that. And you know, a lot of people say Trump was elected in large part due to the efforts of TPUSA and specifically Charlie Kirk.
For sure. And Charlie Kirk had the power to primary any Republican in Congress with all that money TPUSA has, right? There was real threats to where, hey, if you don't go along with this conservative thing we're doing, we're going to primary you. And now that threat, I believe, is largely gone because there's no one organizing that. At least I haven't seen Erica Kirk organizing stuff like that. So, I mean, we'll see, next year, election season starts in like February, basically. So we'll learn real soon how the midterms are going to go.
Yep. All right. To put a bow on this is a great question. Do you guys think that Charlie Kirk unaliving is an open and shut case? Jeremiah, go first.
Man, that's a great question. Pretty much, I think so. Listen, the guy who shot him, like his parents haven't screamed about his innocence or about other people involved. I think there was other people involved, and I think it was the Trantifa. I think Trantifa was involved in organizing this. I don't think it was some grand conspiracy with TPUSA and the government and Israel and all that stuff. But I do think there are some questions that need to be answered that we haven't got yet, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good take. I'm not convinced fully that Tyler Robinson is 100% the guy, but I mean, what other evidence do we have other than the official story?
Right. And why aren't Tyler Robinson's parents like, my son is innocent, my son is innocent? They've never once said that.
Right. Yeah, so like I mean, money can do a lot of things, but not everybody's gonna.
I don't know about putting your son in prison.
Disowning your own. I don't know. What if he was trans, or dating a trans? I don't know. That might change things.
You got some messed up parents, dude.
Yeah, no, I think that it's totally fine to not have your mind made up about the issue, but I don't think that Candace Owens and who's the other guy? Ian, what's his last name? Ian Carroll. These guys don't have any evidence. They literally are just like, what's that meme? Like, you can't ask those questions. You see the Candace Owens meme? Have you seen that?
I have not seen that.
All right, this is gonna be our first clip then.
Okay.
While I pull this up,
let's see what we got going on in the chat here.
Oh, Joel's going live in a half hour. I didn't know that.
Right on. I didn't know that either. Hey guys, maybe I have an important question. Do you guys think that Charlie? Oh, we already answered that. Yep.
Yeah, somebody's. Oh, hello, my friend. I'm back from my 3 months at the monastery. How's it? Paisios, what's good, bro? How was your time there? All right, ready? This is hold on, I gotta.
Probably think Oswald wasn't intelligence. I don't think Oswald killed JFK, first of all. So you missed me with that noise. And JFK speaking out against AIPAC leading up to assassination was a coincidence. That was probably a coincidence, but no, Lee Harvey Oswald definitely was not a lone gunman.
So it puts us at the bottom. I don't know why it does that. I'd much rather have us at the top because of the texts.
You're the producer, man.
I get this. Yeah, it won't let me. That's silly. All right, well, we're going to be at the bottom for this. It just leaves us out. Anyway, this is
we all squint.
This is the you can't ask those questions meme. Ready?
Yeah. You don't get to ask those questions.
What is that?
Dude, she is wild. She is wild. She
Right,
she had a dream. Charlie Kirk told her that. Let's not do this clip since we spent a lot of time on do the tariffs one because that's kind of a different topic.
Cool. At least I can full screen this one. All right.
So let's get a little quick education.
It's
here on
important to
tariffs.
remember that tariffs aren't just tools for trade wars. They're a key part of economic independence. Before income tax was introduced in 1913, tariffs were the main source of revenue for the U.S. government. This allowed the country to fund itself and grow without directly taxing citizens. Tariffs protect American workers and industries from being undercut by low-cost, lower-quality foreign goods, allowing American businesses to compete and thrive. By levying tariffs, we maintain jobs and encourage domestic production, both crucial for national security and prosperity. Tariffs also help the U.S. negotiate better trade deals, pushing other countries to lower their trade barriers in exchange. So, who would oppose tariffs? Globalists, corrupt politicians, and crooked elites whose only care is wealth and power. They take advantage of cheap labor and lax regulations abroad. They take advantage of you. Enough is enough. Tariffs are about valuing our workers, our consumers, and our nation. Let's keep jobs in America and use tariffs the way our forefathers did, to protect our economy and our future. We need strong economic policies. We need tariffs, not taxes. We need to put America first and begin a new golden age.
Tariffs, bro, are key. So the economy isn't that great right now. Like gas is better. Like I don't know where you live, but like I paid like $2.69 a gallon for gas the other day. Like gas is like
Yeah, it's about what it's at.
Yeah.
There's one gas station next to my house who juices me because it's right off the highway, but everybody else is good.
Gas is good. Okay, so we're good there, but the price of like groceries and like goods and stuff isn't really coming down, and people are still feeling that. And I think people need to get behind tariffs. I don't know why. You see a lot of libertarians, man. I can't stand libertarians. I can't stand Christian libertarians. That's a topic we can get into on one of these live streams is Christian libertarianism, because that just to me is like an oxymoron. In some ways, I do know some good Christian libertarians, but anyways, listen, man, if Trump gets these tariffs right and eliminates property tax needs to go, but income tax, if the federal income tax, if you get your paycheck from your job and you see that income tax gone and in your bank account instead, dude, that will secure us the midterms for sure, 100%. But that's how you do it. You do it with tariffs. People think like, oh man, if we do tariffs, I'm gonna pay $100 for this thing that used to be that I bought that's made in China that was $2, now it's $200. Like, no, that's not how it's gonna go. Okay, countries charge us tariffs out the wazoo, and we don't return the favor, and that is negatively impacting us in ways that is part of the reason, besides inflation, that you're paying so much for your goods and services. So tariffs are a way that Trump can push for the elimination of the income tax, bro. That would be huge. I know, like me, you've looked at your paycheck and you've seen how big that dollar amount is.
It makes a massive difference. I mean,
massive.
State tax effective is like 5% where I'm from. But I mean, I'd much rather just have that 5% state tax than I think my effective for federal is like another 25. So
yeah, it's insane. And it's for paying for services that me and you are probably never going to be able to use. I mean, Social Security is about to go bankrupt, and which means that I might get a little bit of it, but you, my friend, you're probably not going to get any of it. And so I paid into a retirement account from the government was supposed to take care of. And guess what? The government, they did what they do best, ruin it and bankrupt it. Like, that would be like
you compound that.
Yeah.
You compound that with the negative birth rate. And and you have all of these people that, who were supposed to have all this money put away that they could draw from. And they're going to be relying on a lot less people producing than it would have if we kept having babies. So it's not going to be good.
Sure, for sure. People will have babies if they can. You won't need a 50-year mortgage if you don't have a federal income tax. I'm telling you, people will spend the money. And and I might. So we're trying to abolish property tax here in Ohio, as you know. If Florida does it before we do, I might move to Florida, bro.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Well-
Although Florida is definitely a lot of expensive parts of Florida too.
That's true. That's true. But property in general
Depends
is
where you move.
cheap there. $4.90
Yeah.
a gallon. Oh, for premium.
Are you in Hawaii or Alaska? No, but I have seen at the pump. I'm like, man, thank God I don't have premium because it is a lot higher, which is interesting. Like the gap between regular and premium has been a lot more. Next time you go to the pump, look at that. It's interesting.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, my
37%.
wife.
Well,
Dude,
I know why
37%.
I know why he's driving around a car that requires premium gas now. It's because he makes a bunch of money with the 37% federal tax.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think premium gasoline might be a sham because my wife has a car that requires premium gasoline. It's a freaking Acura. And one of the mechanics we went to not that long ago was like, you don't need to put premium gasoline in that thing. It's like it's doing absolutely nothing for your car because it's supposed to extend the life, right? And make sure it runs properly. The mechanic was like, it's not doing any of that crap. You're just paying more money for gasoline.
He's in Washington, by the way. Washington State.
Washington State. Oh man, I am so sorry. They're driving that state into the ground. You got to be making a lot of money to survive in Washington.
All right, now we have another one. Another
You want to do the
video you
Somali?
sent me here. Let's see, is it,
Oh, dude, this is crazy, man. I just learned about this.
yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, the Somalians have it figured out in Columbus. I went to the Walmart on
this is
Georgesville to
near
see if I
you?
could see people filling their carts or just kind of see what I could see. It's not the way they do it. They've got it figured out way better than that. Every single Somali restaurant has a grocery store right next door or within eye shot of the restaurant. The specific one I went into today had it attached to the restaurant. And wow, what an adventure that was. Stay tuned for more on that. Anyways, the grocery store and the restaurant were the same building. So they don't have to go to a Walmart or a Sam's Club or a Costco necessarily. They can just order everything they need to their grocery store that's right next to or attached to the restaurant that they also own and never have to fill a single cart. And I guarantee you, if you looked at the records of those grocery stores, they lose tons of money every year, and it's probably used as a tax write-off because those groceries are being funneled into those restaurants with a daycare center on the opposite side. And that's the common trend you'll see. There's restaurants, grocery stores, and daycare centers, and also home health care businesses. I can't forget the home health care businesses. Nakia was absolutely right. And the reason for the daycare centers, I found out while I was at Walmart. 3/4 of the workers I saw working in Walmart, especially the cashiers, were Somali women. You got to figure if you have 2 or 3 wives that you don't have to claim, these women can go work at Walmart full time for $15 an hour and still qualify for food stamps as long as they have a couple kids, which you can guarantee you they at least have 2 kids. Hell, they average 7. Or same story as working as a home health care aide. They have most definitely figured out the system and how to take advantage of it. And Columbus doesn't break down its numbers like Minnesota, but if anything like the 88% of the Somali community is on social services in Columbus, I can only imagine how deep the fraud is. So I'm changing tactics and going back up Monday, and I have a couple ideas to see if I can't sniff a few things out. Thanks for tuning in. Keep it icy.
Dude, it just keeps getting worse.
It keeps getting worse. I'm trying. Mario Nafal broke this down even farther. And it's, it's hilarious because just 4 days ago before this story broke, Columbus Mayor Ginther and city council did a press conference standing with the Somali community and condemning Trump's comments about the Somali immigrants. And then 4 days later, all this fraud pops up. Dude, we have a Somalian representative in our state government who somehow managed to pass a bill to rename a Columbus street after a jihadist. And I can't remember the guy's name, but just a straight up jihadist. How does that bill pass? How does that bill pass, dude? It's
because
insane.
if you don't pass it, you're a racist and an Islamophobe. That is insane, dude. All right, so you have the grocery store, which EBT, right?
Right.
And
So
then they get to use the extra EBT that they don't need to funnel it into the restaurant that they own. Free product, right? Free cost of goods. And then you get the child care. Now he was saying they need the child care, but Do you know what else happens in childcare? Is the government gives you stipends, especially for like single mothers, to use, and they pay for nearly all of the childcare, depending on your income limit. And then on top of that, the home health care, this guy in the video was alluding to, oh, well, they just, they work there and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure. But that's like the number one center for fraud. Like Medicare fraud is insane. People do pop-up shops like this and they just bill wheelchairs and what's the other thing they use when you break a leg?
Crutches.
Crutches, there you go. Crutches, wheelchairs, braces, and they just order them on repeat. They get people's information, right? And then they just order them on repeat because the patients don't pay anything for these things, but the carriers do. And so they don't need them. And then they just throw them. They either resell them on like Facebook Marketplace, literally, or they just like you'll go behind some of these places and there'll be tons of all this stuff in the trash in the back. And you're like, what's going on here? So all four of those businesses are tied into government funds and fraud.
Dude, yeah, and then the restaurant claims losses on their taxes so that they get the tax breaks for not making a profit when they're it's like free. So you got your EBT card, you went and so you didn't pay for any of the food that you furnished the restaurant with. That was paid for by government money, and then you claimed losses, whether you had losses or not, on your taxes. It's insane. It's absolutely.
They definitely got to figure it out.
That's why America should be for Americans in the chat. Yeah, exactly. If you want to come in here and commit fraud, bye, Felicia. Like, I don't care where you're from. Like if that's, but because they're Somali, right? I think we're coming to the end of the woke DEI, like let's be careful what we say type of stuff. But this went on for a long time, I think, because this has been going on for years because of we can't say anything. They're minorities. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I do think like not only is it bad for society, not only is it literally hurting our pockets, but it brings down morale because this person's right. Even good people, hardworking people feel like, well, maybe I should start doing some illegal stuff. Maybe I should start doing some fraud because nobody's helping me. And we're just watching these people. I'm getting hurt. And people are saying I'm a racist for calling this stuff out. So why not screw it and just join them in the fraud? I understand that.
Right. Crime. When Democrats run the show, crime is only illegal for white people, apparently, which is the craziest grift that you could possibly get on. Like, I'm still trying to like pinpoint the moment that happened, because when I grew up in the 90s, right? Like Bill Clinton wasn't this crazy. He was doing crazy stuff, off camera. There wasn't social media, so no one could catch him doing all his crazy, however many women he was with and doing whatever he was doing. But he wasn't, like DEI, woke, like none of that stuff. I'm like, I can't think of like when that shift happened, because Democrats used to be normal in my lifetime. There was a period of time where you might actually consider voting for one.
What's with the stupid question? The scammers make money. Normal Somalis don't have shit. Yeah, I'm sure that they don't give money to the normal Somalis, but they're still participating in the scam. Where do you think they get the EBT cards from?
Right.
Now, is every Somalian a scammer? No. But when you have a ton of Somalis in these fraud rings, why should we accept new Somalis into the country? How does that make any sense?
It doesn't. You got to come here and assimilate. Work hard like our ancestors did.
See, this is why I like debate streams, because everybody crying in the chat.
You come in and cry on camera.
Yeah, and I get to yell at them. That's why we're going to transition one day.
Yeah, maybe we'll take a couple phone calls one day and give somebody. We won't do like 20 minutes like Joel does, but maybe give somebody like 5 minutes to do a rant, and then we'll make fun of them after we kick them off.
We have come to the end of the time for the show.
Yes, we have.
So where can, before you guys leave, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to try and do this regularly. We've been talking about it forever, and props to Jeremiah because he just called me. He's like, let's just do it. And we did it. We were here. I'd love to continue to do this with you. We'll keep you guys updated. I have a debate stream on Monday at 11 p.m. Eastern time with Joel Sedicase. You guys can catch that here. Jeremiah, where can everybody find you? What do you got coming up? Anything interesting?
Interesting. No, I don't debate, so I'm not a debater. So everybody in the chat, I'm the politics guy. So if you find me on X at Jeremiah Campana, find me at YouTube Jeremiah Campana. If you want some biblical wisdom mixed in with your political takes, come check me out there. I do, I did used to do a lot of interviews. I've interviewed a ton of great guests. Thinking about maybe picking up like maybe an interview once every now and then. I'm actually, do you know Daryl Harrison and the Just Thinking podcast with Virgil Walker? You familiar with those guys? Trying to get,
I've
I had Virgil
definitely
Walker
heard Virgil Walker.
Yeah, Daryl Harrison, trying to get him on the show. Trying to get Tim Barton. If you're familiar with like Rick Green and Tim Barton and the Wall Builders and those guys. I've interviewed Rick Green before. Great stuff. But anyway, yeah, biblical takes on your politics, action items. If you're looking for ways to change your community, because it doesn't start in Washington, D.C., folks. I tell people this all the time. Trump is not going to save America. He's not going to save you. He can do a lot of good things, but he's not going to save America. Saving America starts with your town, in your town, at your city council, with your mayor. And I give you action items every episode, small things that you can do to help strengthen your own community, because that's where it starts, man. It's going to trickle up. It's not going to trickle down. It's going to trickle up.
Man, awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this tonight with me, Jeremiah. Looking forward to doing it again. Everybody
Yes,
out there, thanks for watching. Thanks for the likes, the subscriptions. We appreciate you, and have a good night.
Christ is King.
Christ is King.